All right, here we go. Welcome to the Division 1 race at Portugal. The new track, definitely an interesting track. It's almost like a roller coaster, up and down, tight, low speed turns all the way through. The weather looks great today. Looks like it'll be full dry for the race and the qualifying. So hopefully we can get some good stuff out of it today. I got a different broadcast partner today. Today we have Revis over from the D2 division instead of PBJ, who is going to be participating in the race. Revis, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, it's great to be here. I drive from Division 2, also running Division 3 right now as well, and so already got to run this track twice this weekend in actual league racing, and it is exciting. It is a lot of fun, like you said, up and down roller coasters, good mix of corners. No one setup is really better than any other. It's really just going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty pumped for this one. I'm a little bit biased. My D2 teammate PBJ is out there. Want him to win, but it's going to be a great race either way.
So we got a couple of cars out on track already. Getting ready to
hop on board. I'll hop on board with Joel Gurron. Pretty quick driver. Help us see what the track's going to be like.
So lucky for these drivers, they're not going to have to deal with the wet. It completely changes things at this track. And where you think you're going to have grip.
Last race was full wet. A lot of lifting last race. Definitely going to be some different times. Definitely look for the low 17s. It's probably where a lot of these drivers are going to want to be to get into Q3. Q1's probably going to be low 18s, upper 17s as the cutoff point.
It's going to be very interesting to see going into Q2 who takes the gamble for the medium tires last year. The softs don't seem to last quite as long as you would think around here, especially pushing hard and racing with the driver.
Yeah, tire deg's really high on this track. A lot of grip. You're constantly leaning on them through about every turn, so they wear out fast. You don't get very many laps out of the softs. They are quick, though. They're a great qualifying tire, but the race is definitely a medium or hard.
And our Division 3 race on Saturday, Sid finished the race, I believe, 27-28 lap full performance, and was still just running away from the field. So if you can get them locked in and get them with the temperature just right, get them in that zone, they'll last, and there can be an okay tire around.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, we got Joel Gurron on his hot lap here. Let's hop on board with that cockpit cam, see what he's hitting. Nailing the apex onto the penultimate turn here. Moto Lee with a 118.5. And that's more what we're looking for. Marshall with the 117.7. And Joel Gurron with a 117.674. Putting him P2. Great lap from Joel there.
Really good lap. Marshall jumping out, making his debut here in D1 and showing out early. Showing the speed that got him here. We've got a few other guys behind him that are going to try to match that as quick as they can and try to knock him down the board.
Yeah. Be pretty good. Jack Pemberton with a pretty decent lap. Currently sitting P3. So we got... Let's hop on board with Duncan McCamick. KTF... He has... I'm not sure if that was a glitch in the game, but I just saw contact with him in the Haas. Yeah, KTF Desmond just ran Duncan McCamick off the track.
And both of them raced into the pits. I suspect there'll be words said later.
I don't know if that was a desync issue or what, but that was a lot of contact between the Haas and the Red Bull there.
Getting information from the chat that PBJX from Mercedes, because he's still in the pit, having issues getting back on.
Hopefully he can get his game sorted out here. Where is Bronson? Let's see what he can do.
Bronson's yet to set a lap. He's still in the pits. Tyler's still in the pits. Ethan's still in the pits. Very interesting. About half the grid is not set, or over half the grid is not set to win.
Victor Diaz, our former championship leader, missed the race last week, lost his championship lead for it, but he's back in a big way now, setting that provisional pole position here with a 1:17.49.
Here comes Peter to top him off. That's what we expect from Peter week after week. He's always going to be right there in the top, pushing everybody else.
Hadn't played this track until about an hour ago, and he's already setting fastest laps.
Yeah, so, there's something to be said for natural talent and ability to adapt. And those guys have it in spades, especially as young as they are.
Yeah, Peter's 16 years old. He's got those reaction times of a teenager, you know?
Yes.
He's killing it. And Cole Cummings looks like he's coming back to the pit with a 1:19.9. That's definitely not going to stick. He's going to have to come back out at some point.
Lamptey jumps to P6 with a 17.7.
Yeah, that's Alfonso. Yeah, Alfonso.
Bronson's finally out of the pits.
What's up aboard Bronson? Yeah, he's definitely a favorite to do pretty well here. Bronson's a real go fast or go home kind of driver. Either he's going to be up in the top 3 or he's going to be towards the bottom. There's not really an in-between for him.
Setting up the toe perfectly. The big brain Aston Martin boys. They're really good at setting up toes for one another. So Peter's just going to beat him out. Drag him along
team strategy that you don't really see from the other teams too much.
And as I say that, Peter goes in the pit, so actually no toe on this one. So they're just going to set up anchor real quick. So we'll ride on board with, be on board with Bronson now.
Well, Bronson goes a little wide out of the first corner there. Manages to save it. A little bit of wheel spin, but it's not too bad.
Talking to him earlier, that corner is his least favorite, so hopefully the rest of the track is more to his liking. Flies down to the hairpin.
Tight hairpin, yeah.
Nice and tight. Take it a little wiggly on the exit.
Bronson might have a little bit of a loose setup going. He's had a lot of wheel spin through all these tight corners. Looks like PBJ's gotten back into the game here, though, as he lets Bronson by there. The AI definitely won't do that. They will do their best to run you off the track.
They don't even pretend to care.
Yeah. Bronson missing the apex a little bit there, not too bad.
A scruffy little lap for him, but still learning. I bet he gets it together pretty quick here.
Plenty of time left to set another lap after this one, and this is turning out to be a pretty quick lap either way. Bronson Stafford coming in with a 1:17.9.
Oh my.
So he's currently P8, and that was with a bit of a rough lap. He knows he can go faster, and it looks like he's going straight into another flying lap. Not letting the tires cool down at all. 30% ERS.
Interesting strategy.
He must be a little upset. He knows he can be a little smoother through those turns, and he already has been. Currently half a tenth up.
And lucky for him, almost nothing in front of him except
there's Duncan McCamick in the Red Bull coming out, taking provisional pole from Peter. Oh, Bronson spins.
And then Bronson goes around.
In the grass.
Goes around the exact same spot where Cole just went around ahead of him.
And rejoining right in front of, I don't know who that is, but it looks like the slow speed nature of that corner. It looks like we've had another spin. Is that Tyler? Yeah, Tyler spun around right where Bronson did.
Actually got two cars right there. Let's see who the other is.
Yeah, Tyler and Bronson not able to hold on to that corner there.
So, with 8.5 minutes left to go, things are looking very interesting. Duncan's been quick all week. We expect Peter to probably run out, do another lap here in a little bit, set up a nice toe for Bronson. As Bronson crosses the line and doesn't improve.
Yeah, so is Bronson not coming to the pits there?
No, Bronson is still out.
Goodness, Bronson just not giving those tires a break. He's killing it.
Duncan diving into the pits.
And Duncan happy with his time. Let's talk about more Joel Guerin. Currently sitting P3. Going a little slow though. He might be coming back into the pits here. He's about half a tenth down from his best time.
His gas is low. I suspect he's coming.
Yeah, Eric McCurney. So both the McLarens coming in. PBJ coming into the pits at the end of this lap. Garrett Elder definitely going to be coming into the pits here.
So less than 2.5 tenths separating the top 4. We expect that Peter can probably do a little more. Joel might be able to improve that a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ethan
And that's
Patel
where I
with a
haven't even
terrible
talked
time.
about PBJ or Bronson. Still have plenty of time to set another quick time, but right now we're safe to make it through.
These low
Driver at risk,
17s.
Ethan Patel. He just gets bumped down. So driver at risk now is Cole Cummings at 18.4. So
Ethan Patel looks like he's on for another fast lap here, trying to get back into the top 15. A little bit of a desync issue there as he teleports behind Alfonso Luis on the second straight. A little interesting. And he runs off the track. I'm not sure what happened there.
I'll definitely want to abort that one and try again. Wonder if he has gas to go twice.
Hopefully he'll be alright there. Alfonso on his fast lap though, currently sitting P8 with a 1:17.77. And ooh, Alfonso sliding around a little bit. Starting to lose a little bit of grip there. And this track's really unforgiving with the setups. If you don't have a stable setup, your car is gonna Tokyo drift all over the place. It's a little scary.
There's at least 3 different corners where you think you can take it a lot faster than you can. That track will let
Yeah.
you know.
The exits, you usually get a good bit of wheel spin out of it too if you're not locked in. And Alfonso Luis, as we're talking about him, a 1:17, almost flat, setting the fastest lap.
Little poke at Duncan and the rest of the field there.
Yeah. Fun fact, Alfonso's my fantasy pick for the D1 race here, and he's not letting me down.
I went
Full
with
faith in him.
a dark horse. He's only a second off right now with Moto Lee. We'll see if that pays dividends.
And my D2 pick was me, and that turned out really well. My D3 pick
left the
doing really
session.
well. He's in the pits. He might just be trying to reconnect, maybe having some internet issues. Hopefully that doesn't hurt him too bad. He's able to get back in time. But yeah, currently Cole Cummings still the driver at risk. Ethan Patel not able to break that. We got Josh Barnsley out right now. He's a driver who's going to be able to knock out Cole Cummings here. See what he can do. Ferrari coming into the third sector here. A little slow through these real fast right-handers coming onto the start-finish straight.
Not looking great for an improvement.
Yeah, Josh Barnsley not too hot. A 1:19.9 is definitely not going to do it. About a second up from the fastest lap. But it looks like he's rolling right into another fast lap here.
Eric McNerney coming around the final turn. Start finish straight. He's going to start a fast lap here.
All right, ooh, Josh Barnsley loses the rear end a little bit. Coming onto the second straight. He's coming up on Cole Cummings, so he's going to have dirty air from Cole there, who manages to get out of the way in time. So not too affected. And Josh Barnsley sliding around.
Moto Lee just moves up 2 places to 11. So my fantasy pick paying dividends potentially.
Definitely a little bit safer than being down in 13th in the danger zone there.
Eric McNerney just set a fast sector 1. See how I can do in sector 2.
Finishing up with Josh Barnsley's lap here. Let's see what he can do. If he can knock Tyler out of Q1 here. And Josh Barnsley not able to improve enough. Is able to move up to P17 above Brian Hackeman, but that's about it. So Tyler safe. Cole Cummings does get knocked out of the Top 15 there from Tyler McCamick, not related to Duncan McCamick. Up more with Eric McCurney as he finishes his lap. And he is not able to improve. He's going to stick with that one test 17.7.
Just under 3 minutes to go. So if you're going to get out and run another lap, you need to be out of the pits right now.
You got to
Doesn't
do
look
it
like
now.
the Astons are too worried about it as Lampy goes P1. Oh, no, Jimsy moved up.
That's Alfonso Luis there, sitting P1. Honestly, if you're the top 6 right now, just stay in the pits. You're safe. Don't put the wear on your tires. There's no need. Eric McCurney almost loses it. It does spin, manages to save it, and he's over in the grass to get out of the way there for the AlphaTauri that's going to pass him here. And looks like the AlphaTauri also had a spin themselves. Okay, Eric keeping his car out of the wall.
Trying to keep him safe with his teammate Tyler. So if he improves, he goes to the pits.
Ethan Patel definitely in that danger zone. Not going to have time to get out and run another lap, so that's about it for him. Cole Cummings, driver at risk currently with a 118, just about flat. So if any of these drivers can get into the 17s, they're good to go.
Kubikin's looking okay in P13, about to finish up his lap. Start finish straight. Runs does barely improves by almost 3/10, 117.69. Moves him up to P7. So that'll be good news for him going into Q2.
Great lap for him. Jack Pemberton coming back into the pits here. That's going to be his qualifying done for this round. And PBJ off the track. Looks like that's his qualifying done. He's going to stick with P9. So Josh Barnsley, Walter TF Desmond, and KTF Desmond all knocked out of Q1. That's a guarantee.
DNF'd.
Oh, yeah, Victor Diaz out of the qualifying session. I don't think he gets to participate in Q2. That's killer. Wow.
So P2 and P12.
Yeah, neither of them had to push. They were fine. There was no reason for that. That's unfortunate.
Right now I'm watching Brian Hackman down in 8. He comes to the end of Sector 2. Doesn't appear to be improving his time by much. He is up almost 4/10. But he's slow in his
if he can make up some more time in this third sector, if he's figured it out, completely misses the apex, though. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it.
So he needs 6/10 to clear Tyler.
Not a lot of speed carried out from there. I don't think he's going to be able to edge him out. But he is probably going to move up a couple spots, and that's good enough for him. And Brian Hackman...
P11, so he actually
P11, he makes it out, yeah.
Well done by Brian Hackman.
The last lap for Brian.
Oh, last man that will be able to set a time looks like Garrett Elder.
So, I'm going to go with Garrett Elder.
Garrett finishing up Sector 2, down a 10th there. Here we go, to the last couple of turns.
Garrett Elder doesn't really need to push. Qualifying's over. There's no reason for him to risk it here. Just cruise back on into the pits, yeah. Get Q1 bragging rights, and that's about it. And those don't really count for much.
And
Garrett Elder
finish the lap,
crossing the line here. And that's going to be our qualifying done.
So, any surprises for you? Is there anyone?
Brian Hackman.
Yeah, well done, Brian.
Definitely a back runner for most of the races, but getting out of Q1 here into Q2, P12 with a great lap from him. Victor Diaz crashing out. Hopefully his car's fixed enough to run another couple laps in Q2.
For me, it was nice to see a couple of new faces. PBJ running Division 1, P10, Marshall, and P7, Kubikins, P8. Moto Lee in his first D1 race, P13, ahead of Bronson Stafford, which is surprising.
Yeah, some great stuff.
But again, like we said, Bronson only ran 2 laps. He and Peter didn't set up a tow like they normally do. So we'll see, what's what here coming in Q2.
Both the Mercedes, not the normal ones. Both of them in their first D1 race, and both of them making out of Q1. That's great to see.
Really solid work all around.
All right, we're going to hop into Q2 here. These tires do matter. How many medium runners do you think we're going to see?
Honestly, I'm going to be surprised to see more than 2, and it'll probably be the people like the Brian Hackmans that know they're probably not going to be in that top 10 on most days, and so what's the best starting strategy for him? Let's go out and set a medium time, see where we're at, and then go to the softs and see if we can make an improvement. Or if
I know.
we need.
Personally, for our race, I did go with the mediums. Didn't matter, as it turned out, because it did rain. But I just feel like the mediums are so much of a better race tire. The softs burn out so quick.
Absolutely.
And you can pull off the one stop if you do go the medium hard. Not quite sure what happened in D3. I know there was a couple safety cars, though. If those do come out, then I guess that doesn't really matter too much.
A couple with some real confidence jumping out early. We got
it's Peter.
Marshall, Peter, and is that Garrett?
That's Alfonso Luis. That's the third one out right now. So yeah, a lot of our quicker drivers just happy with what they got, and they're just gonna go out and try and get that early clear air.
So
put that banker lap in.
Mediums.
Yeah, let's pull up the tire telemetry here. All right, so we got Joel, Peter. Peter, I definitely expected to be on the mediums. Alfonso, definitely expected to be on the mediums. Jack Pemberton, not really a front runner, but definitely a top 10 driver. Coming out in the mediums. PBGA coming out in the mediums. Moto Lee and Bronson Stafford. So looks like
we're about half and half.
Yeah. Victor Diaz is surprised to be on the softs, though. He's definitely real pacey. Expected him to be trying out the medium, see if he could just run a longer race.
We got our
Alright, so here we
first
are.
time lap starting now.
On board with Peter Giordano for his first time lap on the mediums here as he comes in to the first turn. Taking it just about perfect. Going over that curb. Making the track as wide as possible. 2 wheels off the track there. Coming in, hitting the curb, then coming around and hitting the next curb out of the hairpin. Just great, solid, methodical driving from Peter Giordano here.
Validates. Just ahead of him in validation. Not a great way to start Q2.
There's still plenty of time left. Doesn't hurt him too much. Just hope he doesn't hold up Peter here. Yep, gets out of the way in just the perfect spot so Peter can keep going without having to worry about dirty air. And Peter just taking the perfect racing line curb to curb here.
As Marshall comes around the last turn, he's going to be the first one to set a time here in Q2. He's looking really good right now, looking like about a 1:17.8, give or take. 1:17.9, really good lap.
You don't think I want to go faster on the soft tires, especially with Peter setting a 1:17.6 on the mediums.
On medium.
Oh my really, goodness. That's a statement to Marshall there. Kubikin's on the softs. All right.
On softs, 10th faster. That's not surprising.
Yeah. First time we'll see a Haas on a provisional pole. Jack Pemberton, currently P4 with a 1:17.9 on the mediums. That's pretty good from him. And let's hop on board with Alfonso here in the Alpine, starting his flying lap, trying to make up.
Bronson goes P8, 1:18.5.
Bronson going way slower than his teammate here. Normally they're pretty close together. I don't know if something happened on that lap that he just didn't like or what happened there.
Very busy circuit. Everyone's out right now.
Yeah. Everyone trying to get their early banker laps in, then come back into the pits.
Ethan going 5th fastest with a 1:17.7.
It's a killer
Garrett
lap from
Elder,
Ethan.
P9.
Probably going to see Bronson come in on a set of softs for his next run, just to get out of that bottom 5. Oh, look at PBJ. P3 with the medium tires currently. That's great from him. Hopping on board with Joel Guron here in the McLaren as he finishes up his flying lap. Coming to the penultimate corner here. This fast right-hander.
Might even get a little bit of a tow.
Yeah.
It's quick on it. No, well, looks like they're all going to the pit, so no tow this time, Joel. So sorry.
And Joel not able to get that tow. But Joel with a 177. Great lap from him, especially for being on the mediums.
Just 2/10 off Kubi in P1 on medium tire. It's a really good lap.
These times are all so tight going down to 10th. Even past that, everyone within about a 10th of each other as you go down.
And here comes the man we were most excited about, Brian Hackman, coming up in the last sector.
Yeah, Brian Hackman. Let's see what kind of time he can set.
One more time. He might get a little tow here.
Looks like they're going back to the pits. He's not going to be able to grab that.
These guys are not playing nice, are they?
118.6. Not great. Not great from him. But he does have time to come around for another lap here. And it looks like he's just going right into a second hot lap. I guess he's happy with the warm tires. Just going to hope they stay grippy. He spins and loses his front wing. He's still in the session. Car's not all the way broken, but yeah,
that's dangerous though. That is the turn. Talking about earlier, he absolutely despises. You touch a little bit of that inside curb and you're around.
Get on the power too early there. Yeah,
too much loud pedal and you're yelling.
Your rear end just swings out there. So
little do-si-do.
So Brian Hackman definitely coming back into the pits now. Not able to hold on to it. Looks like everyone's in the pits except for Duncan McCamick trying to set a lap on the mediums. Currently sitting P13, not where we expected him.
Especially with those bangers he knocked out early in qualifying.
Yeah, so we're sitting, I think, a P4 out of Q1, so definitely not who we expect to get knocked out here. But anything can happen. Everyone's been setting great laps.
I would expect if Duncan's on his game through this lap, we got a little bit of desync there, and he goes into the ground on my screen. I bet we see him around the 117.6, 117.7, just right there around the 4.5.
Definitely going to see Duncan in the top 10. Not someone I expect to not make it out of Q2. Alfonso starting his fast lap. Let's hop on board with him. Yet to set a time, but was P2 out of Q1. Looks like he's given up on the medium tire strategy. Gone straight to the softs. Hopefully doesn't get held up by Marshall here. Yeah, Marshall gets over. The DRS makes it overtake real easy.
They seem to be all working together and staying out of each other's way really well.
Yeah, everyone's keeping it real clean. No dirty tactics coming out quite yet. So yeah, this is another dangerous turn. If you got the power too early, you can spin out that rear wheel.
And you never know which way you're going to go. Sometimes you just slide out into the gravel. Sometimes you're in the grass. It's 50-50. The corner's the dealer, and it's dealer's choice on that. Yeah.
Real dangerous here with that hill there. Makes it real hard for the car to get back up onto the track if something does happen. And you can lose a whole bunch of time there if you do come off. Looks like Alfonso might be slowing down. I'm not too sure.
Watching on board with Duncan, and he's back out of his validated in Sector 2.
That's killer for Duncan. So Alfonso Luis setting his first time with a 119.5.
That's shockingly not on pace for him.
Looks like he's going straight into another flyer, though. Hasn't let off the gas. So yeah, Alfonso coming back around for another flying lap here. On 40% ERS, he should have enough to make this work. Just barely.
Peter's back on track. I'm not really sure why. Just wanting to see what he can do on the softs. I wonder if that's a wise strategy.
Peter set his lap on the mediums, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He set those on the mediums.
I don't know if he just didn't like the mediums and thinks he can do better.
With 5.5 minutes left in the session, I don't think he has a whole lot to worry about.
Yeah.
not seeing a lot of
PBJ
time.
with the mediums has been sitting in the pit since he ran his 1 lap. P3, he's content.
Sound decision.
Yeah. I don't blame him. Leave your tires alone after you get your good run out of them. Don't let them get worn out if you're going to start on them. There's no reason.
Watching Joel here, he's a little slow beginning of Sector 2. He just hasn't improved his time by much. Again, he's the driver at risk as Lamphy now goes 117.0 on the softs, just killing everyone. That's way more what we would expect. He was not pleased with the 119, so jumps out there and shaves 2 seconds off.
And Alfonso Luis coming in, yeah.
Really good recovery lap.
P1. Yeah, that's great for him. He really needed that. Marshall's moved up to P2. That's going to knock PBJ and Peter down a couple places, but still not anywhere near the danger zone.
Yeah, Joel comes across. He's trying to improve, trying to keep himself safe. He doesn't look like 3/10, and he actually goes P3. That's how close things are right now. It looks like you're not going to get there, and 3/10 is all the difference between P11 and P2.
You got Garrett Elder up on his best time by about half a tenth currently, sitting P13, crossing the line. Does improve by just 100th. Not good. Doesn't really... I don't know if he has time to come back around, throw in a set of softs, and see if he can make it out.
So driver at risk is Bronson Stafford. Right now he's out. He's
currently
get out
Eric McCurney. But yeah, Bronson Stafford has to go now if he wants to get out of Q2.
Unless he's just happy to have the tire choice, start P11.
Bronson Stafford's quick. I mean...
Yeah, he can get up there, right up there where Peter and Joel and all these guys are. He can definitely do it, but maybe just this isn't the track he's comfortable with.
Yeah. PBJ coming out of the pits. Everyone's coming out now with the 3 minutes left. We got AlphaTauri, the McLaren, and the Mercedes all coming out of the pits. Set another lap. PBJ dropping a good bit from P3 to P7. Everyone's setting their fast laps now. Joel moved up to P3 with a 3-lap old medium tires.
We got 2 remaining in the top 10 on the medium tires. Duncan and Joel.
Currently, Peter's lap is still going to be on the medium tires. Unless he sets a faster one here. And PBJ's lap's going to be on the medium tires if he doesn't set a faster one here. Brian Hackeman coming up for his outlap too. Should be able to make it around in time. Currently sitting P15, last place in Q2. Was definitely a dark horse to even get in Q2, so anything from here is just killer for him.
Had a rough time at Zandvoort. I don't remember how he finished at Monza. I don't think it was anything he was super pleased about, but got to be happy with what's going on so far.
Brian Hackeman's been having a bit of a rough season lately. Manages to get up there in the points and just unlucky for a lot of this season. Maybe this is his track. Maybe he feels good about it. Not too sure. But here he goes, starting his flying lap. See if he can do any better. So, Alfonso Luis, Marshall, Joel Guron, Moto Lee, and Garrett Elder are all going to have to stick with their times here. Neither of them have time to come back around and set another one. So, Garrett Elder is going to be our first driver knocked out of Q2.
Yeah, it looks like we've got an AlphaTauri off. And just before the start of Sector 2.
I don't know if he was just getting out of the way or if he had an incident. But Brian Hackeman, 2/10 up on his best time. Not necessarily enough to get him out currently, but definitely a big improvement if he can keep it up.
All right, looks like Victor's got it going again. That was kind of erratic for a second. That was a technical issue.
Yeah, Victor Diaz, surprising to be down in P8. He's second in the driver standings currently. A very fast driver. Has won the last 3 races in a row he's participated in. So,
and he may be backing up on purpose because he has just enough time to get around and start that next lap as everybody else will be finishing there. So this may be strategic on his part.
Could be just trying to get that clear air.
Just no one in front, no one behind. He can just focus on setting the best lap he can.
All right, so Brian Hackeman finishing up his lap here. See if he can improve at all. And not able to improve. Lost a second in the third sector. So Brian Hackeman knocked out of Q2 as well. I don't know if Garrett Elder's going to be able to make it around in time. 3 seconds left. He's coming up onto the start-finish straight, and he's not going to make it. So, yeah, Garrett Elder knocked out. Ethan Patel knocked out. Duncan McCamick in the danger zone currently. Let's hop on board with him, see what he's doing.
Jack Pemberton improved himself up to P6.
It's great for him. PBJ decides not to go with the medium strategy. Sets P2 with a 1:17.08. That's a great lap from him. That's killer.
Out of the top 10, it looks like Joel will be the only one on mediums to start. That's interesting.
Yeah, Peter killed his medium time. PBJ killed his. Yeah, Duncan's in the danger zone trying to set a fast lap on the softs here, though, so he doesn't get knocked out. Eric McCurney definitely a threat to knock Duncan out here. And never mind, no, he's not. Eric spins right in front of the Ferrari there.
So now if you're Duncan, do you hold on to this time or do you go back out of it?
It depends if Duncan knows that Eric spun.
Hopefully he's got a spotter in his ear.
Yeah, I don't think Duncan knows that Eric spun, so he's going to finish that lap up.
Killer
lap.
Oh my goodness.
With a 1:16.8.
Zero interest in backing out on that one. It was just full send. Let's see where we go. So Joel will be the only one in the top 10 starting on mediums. Very interesting. We'll see how that actually shakes out. And so Bronson not making it through.
Bronson Stafford, definitely not someone we expected to get knocked out. Eric McCurney knocked out.
I would have lost both those bets.
And Victor Diaz. P10, driver in danger, manages to squeak by, though, into Q3. That was almost bad for Victor, who's a killer driver. I don't know if something's going on, if he just doesn't agree with his track or what's happening. But, so our top three out of this one, Duncan McCamick, Alfonso Luis, and PBJX, all with great laps. And looks like Joel Guron's going to be our only medium starter in the race in the top 10.
An interesting thing to note is Peter only ran the one lap, and he said that was good enough, and then he just sat and watched the rest of the time.
Peter just needed that one lap, save the tires for Q3 if you need them. So Ethan Patel, Eric McCurney, Bronson Stafford, Brian Hackeman, and it won't let me look for P15, Garrett Elder, all knocked out. None of them, Bronson, Stafford, and Garrett Elder didn't make a soft run. I'm not too sure what that's all about. Especially with what's going on there. But Victor Diaz coming in P10, and Duncan McCamick with a statement lap, P1.
So there might have been a little drama on one of those runs for Bronson. He apparently may have been blocked by Duncan, potentially. So the two of those will have to have a little talk and figure out what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's anything to do with the desync issues we saw with Duncan and the Haas driver earlier. I'm not sure what happened. Codemaster servers are just dying today.
Well, you see, that's a feature.
It's adds realism. You gotta have race issues.
And PBJ brought that point up earlier after the D2 races. There was a lot of upset, a lot of people with some tempers flaring off things that probably shouldn't have happened. A lot of it related to the desync issues. And the point that he made is, even though this is virtual, it's still motorsport, and stuff just happens. Sometimes you can't control anything around you, and sometimes someone's going to bump you. Sometimes there's more rain than you think. Sometimes that curb is going to get you the fifth time you've taken it.
Yeah, you just gotta roll with the punches a little bit. Motorsport's like that. Waiting for Ethan Patel to tab back into the game currently so we can start Q3.
Ethan feeling himself a little bit right now. Maybe he'll finish this race. Maybe he'll have some good luck. Be a good luck Saturday, Sunday.
Ethan's had a bit of a rough run at it, but
well, to be fair, he is a Cowboys fan. He's also a Texas Longhorns fan, so he should be. That is
unfortunate. Yeah. Cowboys put up a good game last week. Can't knock them for that.
You know, the effort was there. That's for sure.
The effort was there. I mean, the Cowboys don't win, but you know, the effort.
Yeah,
Solid.
they tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on these guys to
so I was on board with Joel Gurin coming out of the pits, and his pit crew literally threw his car out of the pits as it bounced around. Not sure what happened there, but they are strong as hell. Everyone coming out early here, just a line of people.
This is going to get interesting quickly. So currently we only have Marshall, QB, Duncan, and PBJ in the pits. Everyone else is out.
I think they're just trying to get space with 7 drivers and a train coming around. They're letting each other by.
Of course, everyone on the soft tires. No reason to use those mediums now. But you also want to limit your laps because you want to have an extra set of that are completely worn out.
Yeah. Honestly, this is just your time to shine. This is for pole position. This is your starting position in the race. So everyone's going to be making a real solid push lap here. It's going to be just about everything they can do. Let's see who's leading the pack. I think it's Jack Jack Pemberton leading the train here. Let's hop on board with him as he starts his flying lap. Coming out into the penultimate turn here. And onto the gas for the start-finish straight that comes around this fast right-hander.
And the AlphaTauri is doing something that no one else is doing. They are stacked up together with no gap to speak of between them, so they'll get a little bit of a tow for his teammate.
Yeah, that's really good for Victor Diaz. A little surprising that he was down in P10, but hopefully this helps him out a good bit.
The key is to not get too close to one another.
Yeah, dirty air is definitely a factor on this track with all the slow-speed corners.
Very hard to follow, but down those straights, get a nice little gap just to move the air around a little and fly. So Duncan Mechanic still the only one in the pits, waiting for everyone else, waiting for, I guess, just a chance to go run and shine on his own.
Guess he's just letting it clear out, getting some space in front of him. Has it after the 2 Mercedes drivers pass him here.
That would be his time to go. One of the Mercedes coming back into the pits now, PBJX.
Yeah, must have invalidated or just not been happy with what was going on. Gonna tweak some stuff, come back out. Jack Pemberton setting a pretty good lap so far. Oh, hits that yellow curb there. That's gonna slow him down a good bit. That's about a 10th you lose there touching that. Those sausage curbs will kill you.
In a hurry, they will have no remorse either.
And they will spin your car. Lucky to keep it straight. So Jack Pemberton setting the standard here with a 1:17.3. Still a killer lap from him. You could definitely
Victor
go
said
fast.
the exact same time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They
So
both go 17.337. Great job.
and Alfonso crushes that. But yeah, both the Alpha Tauris just about line in line with each other. Victor setting his best lap of all the qualifying here.
So 3 tenths separate our top 3 right now. Duncan yet to set a lap. PBJ yet to set a lap. Marshall coming around to set his lap now.
Yeah, Marshall's one of those drivers who waited for people to clear out. So as that line comes in of those 7 drivers, Peter was at the back, so you see his slow time. Not able to push with all the dirty air in front of him from 6 other drivers. Alright, so Marshall coming around, start finish straight. And he's going to set a terrible time. Something happened there that we missed.
He is going again. He does not appear to be charging that battery back up.
Yeah, it looks like he turned his ERF off. He must have spun somewhere, had an issue.
And he is already invalidated as well, so maybe back in.
Oh yeah, so Marshall having a tough time of it.
We expect everyone else to come back into the pits, and it'll be Duncan and PBJ out there all alone.
Yeah, plenty of clear air for both of them, though.
Duncan's got a good 10-15 second gap to the car ahead, so no worry about disturbed air or pressure to watch the person in front of you. Just go, go, go.
Yeah, Duncan's got plenty of space to make this work. Only 3 drivers out on track, and one of them's not even trying to set a time right now. And well behind the other 2, so it's a non-factor in his qualifying session. Duncan coming out with the whole track to himself. Looks like we have someone exiting the pit lane, though. Duncan should be able to pass him. Looks like they just hadn't quite reached the garage yet. Never mind. I'll
Be
take
the
that back.
Haas of Kubikins. Currently sitting P5, which is good for him. I feel good about that.
Rubikin's definitely a real quick driver.
Duncan sets a purple first sector. A good start for him. Good, nice push. He's been quick all week. All of his times near the
Duncan,
top.
a little risky with his tires there. His inside tires almost touched the curb there, and that would have invalidated him. He had about maybe half a foot there. Just taking it on edge.
That's the difference between P1 and P3 right now. Just that little bit, just a part of a tire, just the edge of the curb. He sets best sector 2.
All right, Duncan with a flyer of a lap so far. Did set that 16-second one last session, so see how he can improve here. And Duncan Mechanic,
nice, left side,
keeping it real tight.
Validating.
Yeah, taking the least amount of length there, and with a 1:17.005.
1,000 separates second,
that is
third, and fourth.
The wrong time, but oh yeah. Those three drivers are all right next to each other. That is
TBJ goes 7th fastest at a 17.6. He's got 3 drivers behind him. They'll try to catch up to that time. One of them being Peter, who's on an outlap.
And Marshall, who can definitely go a little bit faster there. Let's hop over with Peter. He should be coming. Actually, PBJ is going to finish up his time here. He's coming around to come back into the pits here. So yeah, how about over with Peter? Not someone we expect to finish down in P9. So Peter starts his... Yeah, Peter's starting his lap here.
Everyone else kind of tiptoeing around. Kubikins is going to start his lap.
Peter coming on. Looks like one of the Haas drivers here. Kind of close. Shouldn't be too much of a factor as he lets him by. That's a Mercedes driver. I'm sorry, I was looking at the mini-map. They're both white for some reason. Yeah, Peter having to hold up Aston Martin here. His teammate not able to make it out of Q1.
The Haas of Kubikins is spun just before the start of Sector 2, coming out of Turn 4.
Looks like he's kept his front wing, though. Should be able to come around for another lap. I'm not seeing...
Peter's out. Peter spins around, breaks his wing. Keeps it going, though. So have a chance to set that time again, but no wing for Peter.
Taking part of the advertisement board with him. As he comes around. Yeah, Peter pushed a little bit too hard there.
Unfortunately, those ad boards are not a replacement for a wing, so it's not going to help him at all.
And not able
he struggles to hold on to it through turns 13 and 14 here.
So Peter's only going to have time for one more lap if he can get that wing changed. So
Joel crosses the line, does not improve. He'll stay P8.
Victor Diaz currently off track. He looks like he's rejoining now. Got some space. Not sure what happened there.
It's like he was letting Kubi around.
Let's hop on board with Kubi, who's 17 seconds up. Never mind.
So he's gonna go again. It looks like.
Yeah, Kubi without any damage from that little spin there. Able to hold on to it, keep it out of the wall. And
there's one nice
timing.
Thing about tracks like this, with a little bit of runoff, you're not so close to the walls like we've seen in a lot of tracks. There's so many tracks like Monza, when you get on the two Lesmos, you get out of the second Lesmo, and it's just walls on each side. A little mistake, you're done. Here, you have a little chance to recover.
It's a little forgiving that way, yeah.
Vanvoort, same way. There's walls right there, except for about 2 or 3 spots where there's a little bit of runoff, but generally cars don't run off where those runoffs are. And Kubi goes around.
Kubi's around, yeah. His tires might be too hot from that spin earlier and trying to push, not able to hold on to it. Kubi does have time. He will have warm, hot tires, but I think he's going to want to
have to come in.
Oh, yeah.
That may be part of his problem, too, is he was too low on fuel, and the car wants to get unsettled because it's too light, because it needs a little bit of oomph to hold it to the ground.
A little weight. Normally you want to be as light as possible, but sometimes that weight just sort of helps the car stick to the track. So yeah, Kubi gonna probably have to settle with his time here. It's unfortunate for him. PBJ on his outlap gonna be able to make it around in time. And Victor Diaz with a 116.9. Yeah.
Very nice.
That's great for the AlphaTauri team. Jack Pemberton not too far behind. You've got Jack Pemberton coming up into Sector 2 here, passing the Red Bull of Duncan McCamick, who pulled off to the side to let him by.
A little surprising. Still Peter down in P10. Looks like he is getting ready to enter Sector 3.
Yeah,
try to improve on his time.
Make one last lap here.
Joel coming out of the pits has well, I don't know if
Joel doesn't have time.
All the way around.
Yeah,
he doesn't have time. I wonder what the...
I don't know what the thought process here is.
A little bit of confusion in the McLaren garage.
It's going to be a little bit of an obstacle on track for anybody else trying to start their laps here. Looks like he's going to be out of the way, though. But, yeah, no reason to put the wear on the tires, so just slow down. Made the mistake. It's all right.
Alfonso goes P1, 16658.
It's a great
See
lap
what Jack
him.
can do. Jack back up to P3.
Yeah, Jack up by 3/10 there. Duncan McCamick starting his flyer here with 15 seconds left in the session before the cutoff point. Actually, Moto Lee might not make it around in time for his lap to start. All right, no, this is his flyer.
Yeah, he's on a timed lap right now. It doesn't look like he's going to improve.
Victor's just going to go ahead and retire.
So yeah. PBJ is done, Kubi's done, Joel's done, Victor's retired.
PBJ with a great lap, 117.025.
Just to pip Jack.
Duncan, 2/10 up on his fastest time here in Sector 2. Duncan with a lot of room to improve. He can move up to P4 if he can hold this time that he's got here.
Peter has shaved an entire second off of his time as he comes into the penultimate set of corners on turn 13.
Going to come around here and finish up.
And he is going to hustle his way to the start-finish line and try to improve by a lot. And he's going to need a lot as he goes second fastest. 1.3 shaved off. Well done to Peter.
Yeah, Peter with a sick lap coming out there. Duncan McCamick, 4/10 up on his fastest time here. Is going to move up to P2 from taking it from Peter by about 0.04 of a second. Keeping it real close. That's going to move PBJ down to P5. And looks like Moto Lee's our last driver out on track, setting his fast lap, up on his best time though, not able to improve. Or no, he does.
Slightly
he improved by 110. Yeah. So that's going to be how it finishes. Yep. Just got to wait for Jack and Marshall to come back into the pits here. They're bringing their cars back in, so should be good to go. Jack Pemberton coming back into his garage now. And it's going to be Alfonso Luis, your pole sitter, and Duncan McCamick locking out the front row.
Bit surprised to only see one Aston Martin into Q3 in the top 10. However, we do have several lower division drivers. We got 4 of the top 10. So kind of surprising there. A little bit of shake-up, maybe some
really
pressure.
Showing up. So P1, Alfonso Luis with a killer lap, and Duncan McCamick's going to round out your front row. Peter Giordano and Victor Diaz, your 2 championship contenders here. Going to lock out the second row. PBJ and Jack Pemberton is your third row. Moto Lee and Marshall is the fourth row. And the fifth row, to wrap it all up, is Kubikins and Joel Guron. So definitely some surprises here, to be honest. Peter Giordano, only P3, normally a pole sitter consistently. Victor Diaz, yeah, and PBJ, the D2 driver, up in starting 5th with a great start for him.
And a nice, good mix. You got the Alphas close together, the Alpines near each other, but nobody really can work together on the start. So it'll be interesting strategy-wise to see who split strategies, whether they all go on the same strategy.
I think the Astons are definitely going to split their strategy here. This is our first race we're doing without a formation lap. Apparently that is connected to some of the desync issues and timing issues that are in the game. So hopefully we know where people are this time. It should be okay, but we're just going right into a hot start. No warming your tires up this time. Wish we could do the formation lap, but it's too buggy.
Honestly, at this point, I think the list would be shorter of what does not cause desync issues, because it seems like every week we're finding a new thing that may be
like safety cars cause desync issues. Sometimes the safety cars themselves are desynced. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go. Tyler with the drive-through penalty for a jump start and moved way up, but he'd also got a good start before anybody else. Alfonso manages to hold on. The Aston Martin of Peter were in real wide out of turn 1 there. Duncan McCamick not giving them any space, getting the elbows out there.
All the way down to 20th is spun in turn 1.
So let's look at what kind of tires we got. Didn't really have time to look.
So, shocking there. I wonder if we'll try to get on board with Bronson and see if he's got damage. The wing's still on. Both wingtips seem to be intact, but not an ideal start. Lucky for him on the medium, so he'll have time to push through some of those soft corners. Already overtaking one, takes KTF Desmond almost immediately.
KTF Desmond was going real slow there. I'm not sure what happened with him.
He's missing a wing. His wing is gone. He was probably...
So, PBJ on the softs has managed to overtake Victor Diaz, who's on the medium tires, the furthest one up with the mediums. Going to be going a little bit slower. Might let his teammate Jack Pemberton by here, just for the pace advantage. I'm not sure there's going to be any team orders going on at the AlphaTauri team.
And in news that will surprise absolutely no one, Bronson spins in turn 1, is in P20, and is already caught back up to the pad.
Yeah, Bronson already coming around with the recovery drive.
Another overtake. Oh, they come together.
Bronson Stafford, let's hop on board.
WTF and Bronson come together. So we've got 3 in the pits, 4th coming in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to come up later, but neither one of them has damage. It should be okay. Bronson a good bit behind Cole Cummings here, though, as the pack starts to separate here.
And we got our pole sitter spun. He's all the way down to P13.
Yeah. Oh, I entirely missed that. Okay, Alfonso Luis
having a rough time there in the middle.
Yeah, the cold tires from the standing start will catch you off guard if you're just used to running the track with nice warm tires. So that puts Duncan McCamick up to P1, followed by Peter Giordano and PBJX, who's P3 currently. But Peter's already built that second gap on PBJ. Duncan almost at that second gap on Peter. We might not get a DRS train going here at all.
It's like we may have one from 4 down to about 10, but it's going to be Peter and Duncan. And once if Peter can close that gap back up, as it's stretched out just over 1 second now. We've had another car go off. Looks like Brian Hackman having a bit of difficulty.
He's having a rough race already. It is me DRS enabled. Everyone's still in the race. No safety car.
Bronson goes fastest. 1:19.8. He's driving angry right now.
Bronson's already moved up 5 places from where he was, so killer drive from him as he comes
Which is
up.
Not surprising. It's more surprising that he qualified for me than it is that he went to the back on an incident.
So Bronson Stafford's going to get DRS on the straight here, behind the Red Bull of Cole Cummings.
And
see if he can make a move work.
WTF Desmond has spun in turn 3, going up into turn 4.
So yeah, Walter's going to drop down to P16. A lot of spin so far, but no real bad collisions or anything. Everyone's sort of avoiding it, but yeah, a lot of these drivers not able to keep on the track, trying to push a little bit too hard here in the early going.
So Kova on those fresh mediums is going to have to pick up the pace, because that those leaders are not going to wait for him.
Absolutely.
And
not.
we have a Brian Hackman has gone. No, I'm sorry, that is Josh Barnsley has gone around. In turn 11, he's back on the track now.
Yeah, Josh Barnsley, no damage currently.
That's good.
But yeah, Josh Barnsley now 7 seconds behind, or 12 seconds behind Bronson, who's
DRS on Cole.
a little bit back. Cole. Moto Lee already with a track limit warning, or penalty. So Moto Lee is currently sitting P7, pushing a little bit too hard, ran off the track. Gonna get a 3-second time penalty for that. It's real easy to, if you're going flat out, to run off the track a little bit here. Alfonso Luis with a... And looks like a little bit of contact from Bronson and Cole Cummings. Cole Cummings up the inside into the hairpin. And able to get the move done. Is it going to stick? Yep, that move's going to stick. So Bronson Stafford up to P13.
7 spots he's made up already in the first 4 laps. This is the kind of drive we expect from him.
He's flying, yeah. But
He's
Bronson's
good at recovery drives as he spins around.
Bronson Stafford is still in the race.
He spun on my screen and then now he's back.
No, he's okay on my screen, so he's...
Yeah, he's fine. So talking
one of those
Bronson,
little desync issues. Yeah.
One of the things he and I were talking about earlier, and why I was not surprised if he would have spun there, is he really likes to drive his car slippy. He doesn't want them stuck to the track. He doesn't like the types of setups a lot of people in the league run. A lot of people want to try to find the most grip they can. He likes it to slip just a little bit.
I like my sticky setups personally. I do spin a lot sometimes, so I like to mitigate that if I can.
Absolutely.
But Victor Diaz has dropped down to P7 already. Is on those medium tires though, so he has the better pit strategy. Going to be able to run way longer than anyone else in the softs, and he's in a great position to overtake everybody when they do pit, which is probably going to be around lap 8 or 9, you say?
I would say so. You can stretch these out to about 12 or 13, but the way these guys push, as aggressive as our division is, it's just not a great strategy.
Peter Giordano taking a look at Duncan there from the inside, backs out of it.
How long can Duncan hold him off with Peter having DRS and just being as quick as he is?
Peter's just trying to stick close to Duncan here.
They're gentlemen drivers. They're not going to get too rough with one another. They're going to leave the space that they need to leave. And it's going to be a good fight all the way to the end if they can both hold on.
And so Peter, like DRS, ERS, looking to make a move on Duncan McCamick here for the lead. Gains about 2-3 tenths. Look at the inside of the turn 1 and backs out of it. Hard spot to overtake in the turn 1 there. It's just so fast. Peter still sticking really close here with Duncan, but he's just going to fall back in line here. A little teleporting glitch from the Red Bull there as he teleports back in front of Peter. And Tyler with another penalty. Oh man, so Tyler McCamick having a rough time with it.
Looks like
keeping it on track.
Desmond is just ahead of the lead, and he's got back control of it. No wing damage, but we said earlier those guys are going to continue to come, so he's got to really...
and the other Desmond picks up a penalty. A lot of track limits penalties here. Definitely more than I thought we'd see. And Bronson Stafford pushing a little too hard there, runs off the track, not able to keep it clean. And so he's going to take another 3 seconds to his time there.
In a Division 2 race, it was a little different because of the rain. We had one driver and one driver only that did not receive a penalty, which is a very strange situation.
This track's a little bit of a slip and slide with the rain. Downhill, the rain flows downhill, able to stick to it. Which turns the whole track into a little bit of a water slide, hard to keep grip on. And so Bronson Stafford with DRS on Garrett Elder here, trying to get close.
And he gets the move on
Alfonso
Victor Diaz,
who is having an issue. He comes into the pits early here.
Okay.
Doesn't look like he has damage. Oh, he does. They're replacing that front wing, and he's going to throw in the hards for the rest of the race here. So Alfonso Luis, nice long pit stop, about 15 seconds as he comes back out. Overtaken by most of the field there as Tyler McCamick gets around him.
Well, D3 race on Saturday, Sid was able to make his hard tires last about 26, 27 laps. So he looks after him. He can finish. He can make up some good track position.
Yeah, those hard tires can definitely run a long time. The grip isn't there though for him, so he's going to be a little rough around these slow speed corners, but isn't going to have to make another pit stop, so definitely going to make up a whole bunch of time from that.
And you would think that you would like to see a safety car at some point if you're on those hard tires.
Oh, I think we
you're not
missed
gonna have
it,
to stop.
but oh, never mind. Duncan. I had a little bit of a weird thing where I saw Peter in front of Duncan for a second there on the mini map, but they're super close together still.
Peter's got him. He's right there. He keeps closing that gap up.
Yeah,
and they've stretches it out through sector 2 and 3.
They've already built a 3-second gap on PBJ, who's sitting P3, and Jack Pemberton not too close behind him. PBJ is running his own race at this point,
which sometimes can be really nice when you have that gap in front and behind. You can just concentrate on what you're doing. You don't have to worry about anyone else, their track position, who they're fighting.
PBJ not having to defend, not having to attack, so he can just drive as fast as he wants to. Take good lines, so that's gonna be great for him.
KTF Desmond off again, and safely waiting for everyone to get around, so he's gonna go a lap down.
Yeah, KTF Desmond having a killer of a race. That's staying
the third time
unlucky.
Off that corner. That's the corner we were talking about earlier. You just a little too much throttle, a little too much over rotation of the car. You're going around.
You know, a lot of these time trial setups that these drivers are trying, they're just loose. And they're meant for a lot of rotation. As his tires are too hot, and
front wing is
gone.
Second wing replacement.
So KTF Desmond doesn't like Fly Emirates. Takes out the sign, as he is.
What a rough start! He's
lapped
driving
by Brian Hackeman. So KTF Desmond a whole lap down.
He is driving like this guy in D2. We know. We'll just leave it at that. He drives for Aston Martin.
Yeah, KTF not able to keep on the track for this race, having a terrible time. As the leaders are gonna, that's gonna be, who is that coming up on them? Let's come back to the pit. So yeah, KTF Desmond lapped for good measure. He gets a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
You can fit so much pain inside one of those Haas. It's the only thing that keeps it stuck to the track is the pain and disappointment of driving a Haas.
Yeah, so that Haas.
One of the hardest things to do too is when you have mistake that you start to get frustrated, you get in your own head. It's relax, cover, and so you continue to make those mistakes, even though you think you're doing everything you can because you can't get past the initial thing, and that's where driver mentality is so important.
It's real hard to stay in the zone. All that's happened to you as Josh Barnsley passes KTF. So KTF lapped down to P14. And looks like the leaders are coming up on KTF. Not too far behind.
Much longer Duncan can hold Peter off like that. That's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Duncan's got the whitest Red Bull on track. But Duncan managing his ERS well here. Has about the same amount as Peter. Both at around 60%. So Duncan not pushing so hard that he doesn't have any way to defend. Yeah, Duncan's running a great race right now. Just keeping his card as wide as he can.
Bronson Stafford takes another spot. He's up to P11. That's 9 he's made up now. Another penalty for Tyler.
And he's got Garrett Elder right in front of him looking at that move too. Bronson Stafford having a great recovery drive.
Get him up into the points here pretty quickly, but then he's got quite a gap to Eric. 3 seconds to Eric. But Eric's going to have to
Casey's running that now.
Eric gets a time penalty as well.
Yeah, a lot of time penalties coming out here. Let's actually take a look at those. So, Moto Lee with 3 seconds, Eric with 3 seconds, Bronson with 3 seconds, Marshall with 6, Tyler with 6, Walter with 3 seconds, Alfonso with 3 seconds, Ryan Hackeman with 6, and KTF with 5 seconds. So, the love's definitely been spread around by the Marshalls.
The Haas of Kubikin's off at turn 4. He's got it back going, no wing damage, but it's not a great day to be in a Haas, it seems.
Yeah, both these Haas's are struggling. Not the first time we've said that. But yeah,
Bronson does take P9 from Garrett.
So Bronson moved well up into the points. Alfonso Luis though having a rough race. Pole sitter sitting P17 now.
Josh Barnsley moves up to 13. taking over Moto Lee. Good move by him, turn 3.
It's great from him. Peter and
So back
Duncan
starting
building
to-
that 4-second gap on PBJ now. Starting to
He's
slow
starting
down
to-
a little bit.
Starting to spread out a little bit. We're going to get some more one-on-one battles. Surprisingly, not the DRS train we were expecting. We started out P4 through 10. We're all within a half second of each other. We had DRS, but that was 7 laps ago.
That's fallen out a little bit. Victor Diaz currently pretty close to Joel Guron. Trying to get back his P5 spot here, and looks like PBJ is going to pit.
So
all the soft runners are going to be pitting here pretty soon.
11 laps on those softs. They said enough's enough. PBJ going on the hards. Very interesting. And same for Jack. Same strategy. They're going to try to finish out on those hards.
That was the suggested strategy at the beginning of the race, was soft to hard, so that's what the race organizers want.
And we have a Ferrari off, it looks like. Brian Hackman.
Brian Hackman also having a rough time. Set a great Q1 time. Able to get into Q2. And not really able to capitalize on that from here.
So the question is, what is the gap that Duncan and Peter are thinking? And does Peter go for the undercut on Duncan?
So, ooh, there's a Ferrari off there as Victor Diaz passes it. But honestly, I think they both come into the pits. You're not going to get too much time on staying out if you're Peter, especially with the soft so worn. They're just going to have a good outlap.
So if we were figuring about 20 seconds to a pit stop, that would shuffle them back between Marshall and PBJ right now. And so
both staying out an extra lap here. I guess both of them just want to see who moves first here.
So the good news is, if they both pit right now, if things stay the way they are, they both come out into a pretty clean, not having to race anybody right off of pit road. So track position is really important.
Probably going to take the lead if they do pit. Moto Lee with the fastest lap.
Wow.
Currently hitting P12 with the fresh mediums.
That was my fantasy pick, so doing good, making me proud right now.
So Jack Pemberton and Joel Guron both going with hard tires as well. PBJ stays in the points in P9. Not going to have to pit again.
Off.
Everyone in front of him is going to have to pit, though. So he's actually in a really good spot.
Barnsley went off just before the pit entrance, was able to actually get into the pit. So I guess if you're going to go off, break yourself, that's the spot to do it.
It's the best spot for it. Yeah, absolutely.
And he's on 12-lap-old soft, so it's about time for tires anyway. I don't know how much that was in the last 2 years.
It's like he didn't have any front wing damage.
Duncan goes to the pit, Peter stays out. So Peter going for the overcut?
Yeah, let's hop on board with Peter. Peter on his in lap here. Got the DRS off of Duncan for the straight, though, so that's big for him as he flies through these corners.
Duncan on his way out of the pits. Looks like Marshall went in, so Duncan's going to have a clean exit to the pits and be able to just get up to speed really quick.
You got to think, though, is it worth it to stay out the extra lap here on the softs, which are losing a lot of grip by now? You can tell by the way he's driving. He's not pushing near as hard as he was towards the beginning.
Just tiptoe it around. Hope you don't lose too much time.
Yeah, Peter.
Like he's
killing his in lap. Yeah.
The worst case scenario for everyone right now would be a safety car. Because then where does everyone end up shuffling out? And as I say that, we have a floor. Is that a Brian Hackman again?
Let's have a word. Brian Hackman's on track currently. Must have missed it. Alfonso Luis with another penalty. That's rough for him.
So that was Josh Barnsley that went off.
All right, yeah. Brian Hackman's currently behind Duncan McCamick, trying to unlap himself from him.
All right, here comes Peter. Assuming he's going to go into the pits, and he does.
Yeah, Peter with a great in-lap. 2/10 up on his fastest time. That might give him enough time to get ahead of Duncan.
19 laps to go. Put the mediums on this. He goes with the hards. Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are going for the hards just to finish out the race on those. Marshall with another penalty. Victor Diaz inherits the lead, so currently Your top 3 runners are Victor, Ethan, and Eric McCurney, who's on 14 lap-old soft tires.
Here's the race for the pit exit, and we'll see who comes out first between the 2 of them.
And Peter just ahead of Duncan, just barely. As Duncan looks at the inside here with the warmer tires and the grippier mediums. Can he make this move stick? Wheel-to-wheel racing on the second straight here. Duncan got the DRS, but he does have the outside line going into the hairpin. Can he hold on, make this move stick?
Really clean race.
And Duncan McCamick able to take back his position there with the grippier tires. There's so much more grip on the warm mediums and those cold hards than for Peter. Yeah.
I did that to benefit the DRS, and there was no way Duncan wasn't going for that. So we've got all 5 cars in the front right now. I kind of need to pit again. 14 lap mediums and then 14 lap old softs for Eric. So
medium runners are probably going to stay out for another 7 or 8 laps, so you'd guess. And then Eric McCurney has to come in this lap. Yep, he's coming to the pits right now. Yeah.
So for him, with 18 to go, is it mediums or hards? That's a tough call.
I think he stayed out on the softs to go onto the mediums. Yeah, he's going mediums here.
There we go.
Yeah, just stayed out longer to go on the mediums, keep the grip. He's serving his 5-second penalty currently. So Eric McCurney is going to drop down to probably P11. I don't think Alfonso's going to make it around in time for the overtake. Actually, he might. He's on the straight now, so Eric McCurney losing a lot of positions there. Dropping down to P12. And maybe more. Eric McCurney hasn't left the pits yet, has he?
What's going on, I wonder?
Yeah. Maybe it's a Bottas situation. They can't get the tire off. I don't know.
That off. Yeah. So benefit to Cole Cummins on that one.
So Eric McCurney with Eric McCurney with a 1 minute long 50-second pit stop.
And now he's back on track and jumped to P7. So that must have been a DC catch.
Okay.
Because he's in turn 7 right now.
Okay, looks like they did get that wheel nut off. So Eric McCurney, nothing too crazy for him.
All right, Victor Diaz comes around again and does not.
Looks like he got a bit of a timing board issue because it says Eric McCurney's behind PBJ and he's definitely not because there's an Alpine behind PBJ.
My screening still shows him in the pits, but I definitely see both McLarens out there driving. So.
Yeah, I see Eric McCurney driving, but his timesheet says in the pits, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. Hopefully when he crosses the start-finish line, it'll sort itself out.
So big shout-out so far to all 20 drivers who have not had a DNF yet. And I probably just jinxed it if I did.
And it looks like the Alpine is making a move on PBJ. Not sure who that was. Everything's all funky right now.
The timing screen has gone crazy once again.
That wasn't Walters, so that had to be Alfonso?
So Victor Diaz is still our leader. Now I'm showing Eric.
Moto Lee. Moto Lee makes the move. Okay.
On PBJ.
Struggle to figure out.
Takes 7th place. So Ethan Patel running P2. Hopefully some good luck for him finally.
Ethan Patel doing pretty good here. Is going to have to pit again, though. Just trying to build a gap to Duncan here. Currently has about a 9-second gap to Duncan, so he could stay towards the front here.
See if any of these top 3 dive into the pits. They're all going to stay out. Bronson's going to try to stretch those as long as he can, try to build up that gap.
Yeah, they definitely have a few more laps in the mediums there, and Marshall picked up a 5-second penalty for gaining a position off the track. That is rough for him.
Always a painful one. Racing so hard and just a little mistake.
Bronson Stafford with another penalty. That's killer for his race.
We had a driver in D3 take turn 2 a little too hot and drift his way through turn 3, and that will get you a 10-second penalty in case it wasn't.
Yeah,
I've seen me do it.
The formula drift just isn't real here. I think the timing sheet's starting to sort itself out. So currently we got Victor, Ethan, Bronson, Garrett Elder, and Duncan McCamick as your runners. Let's actually look at these penalties again. So Bronson Stafford with 6 seconds, Moto Lee with 3, And this is going to round out your top 10. Joe Guron with 3 seconds. Eric McCurney with 3 seconds. Alfonso Luis with 11 seconds worth of penalties currently. Marshall with 14 seconds of penalties. Tyler with 6. Walter with now 6. Was 3 as I was saying it. So Walter with 6 seconds of penalties. Brian Hackeman with 6. And KTF Desmond with 8 seconds of penalties. So the Marshalls are just spreading the love with all these penalties here.
It's like Christmas and the Marshalls are Santa, just making deliveries. And in the case of a couple of our drivers, their list has been checked more than twice.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming up on the window here where all these medium runners in front can pit for softs and finish out the race on them. What lap do you think they're going to try and come in on?
I would say they've got to come very soon, because if you're going to go on the softs, you probably don't want to run them more 12 or 13 laps. Hards aren't going to be great right now, especially if you're going to try to keep it here in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely not.
So
currently they'd be running 13 laps on the softs, which is about the limit.
It's right there in that danger zone. What happens on the last 2 laps? You give up everything you've earned up to this point.
Yeah, so I'm thinking lap 22?
22 is really
put
pushing
10 laps on the softs. Yeah.
And there we go. Victor Diaz comes in.
So yeah, Victor Diaz coming into the
Patel
pits here.
stays out, and Bronson stays out, so he'll take P2 up from all the way down in P20.
Got a big issue with Victor Diaz's pit thing here as it flashes, and sorry for anyone and now Victor Diaz is teleported to the grid. Hopefully that's not there for the drivers, and as he's teleported back into the pits and leaves.
So he put on the hard tires.
Huh. That is interesting for him. Let me start on the medium so he can go onto the softs. I'm not sure if he just forgot to select it or what.
Or maybe that window is just so close for him. It's not.
It would be tight. That's really pushing it. But that could be the difference between winning the race and, just storing good points, is taking that little bit of a risk there.
So our functional leader is Duncan McCammon, Peter Giordano. It's like about a 5-second gap. Peter, they were racing really hard for the first part of the race. Things just kind of got spread out, but still they're running really strong. You get to see Ethan or Bronson come in, so it's about time for them.
Yeah.
So we expect them to kind of be racing each other to the pit entrance. And
PBJ's fallen way behind here. Currently sitting in an effective P4. Was P3 at one point, but Moto Lee currently effective P3, so it's a good pick from you.
In. So Duncan and Garrett take advantage there. Garrett,
how many more laps can they run here on these old mediums? Like, they are old mediums.
You've got to think they're just screaming right now. Bronson, a bit of a slow pits.
Bronson did have a penalty to serve, though.
So he's going to shuffle out to P11. He won't be happy about that, but the way he pushed on those softs at the beginning.
Okay, he's on the fastest tire on the grid. Definitely going to be able to make up a lot of time compared to these other drivers on old mediums and older hards. So Ethan Patel and Garrett have to come in this lap, right?
Yeah, so Ethan's in the pits now, it looks like. Or is that Tyler?
I got Ethan Patel coming out onto Sector 3 now.
Okay, so it's... I have an alpha in the pits on my screen.
Yeah, that is Tyler McCammon coming out of the pits now. Okay, yeah.
So right now, Eric McNerney has the fastest lap at a 1:18.9. You got to think Bronson's going to want to push to get up into the points and take that fastest lap point.
Eric loses that position to Bronson. He won't get any points for that fastest lap.
All right, and Bronson will want that extra point, particularly for the constructors, so that Aston Martin can stay ahead. Because right now, Peter trying to go for it, because he's going to have to stop and put on some softs. And how many spots do you give up potentially doing that? So,
Duncan McCammon with a penalty as he tries to pass Garrett. Duncan's caught Garrett, has so much more grip on the 14-lap newer medium tires, and is able just to blow past him there. So Duncan McCammon takes back the lead here, and Peter Giordano 6 seconds behind. So Duncan's just in a great spot, isn't he?
Absolutely.
He's
think
able to run
this is
away with this if he keeps it clean.
Peter on those hard tires. I just don't know if that was the correct choice. I
Yeah,
think
definitely got a
he's paying a
question.
penalty for that now. I generally expect the hards to be about 6 to 7 tenths, depending on the driver per lap. You know, when you have 15 laps remaining, that's a lot of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Garrett, 2 seconds up on his fastest lap. So yeah, these mediums are done. They're fried. He's sliding around out of the exits of these turns here.
PBJ in a good spot. He's got DRS on Moto Lee, about the same age tires. He's on the hard, so they're going to have a little more life in him. So we get towards the end of the race, PBJ may be pushing towards the podium positions.
Absolutely. PBJ definitely in a decent spot for a podium spot here. Garrett finally into the pits on 22 laps.
Amazing.
And Peter 6 seconds behind. So Duncan's built a huge gap.
And Kubi is still running on 19 lap old mediums. You got to think at some point he's coming in. That's going to let a couple guys move up. Unfortunately, they're not close enough to the points, so they've got to rely on mistakes ahead. They're going to score points tonight.
So by the end of the race, Duncan's going to have 18 lap old medium tires. As we talk about Bronson setting fastest lap, there it is. But yeah, Duncan's going to have old mediums by the time he finishes. He'll be sliding around and definitely going to be past that crossover point where Peter's tires are going to be faster. I don't know if he's going to be able to make up the time before then to close that gap.
Let's say that happens about 8 laps from now when he gets to about 16 laps. You got about 2 laps to make that up. Then there's just not enough time, I don't think, for Peter to make it up. He's going to have to rely on penalties or Duncan making some mistakes. So for now, I think he just needs to run his race and just be real clean, avoid the penalties, and see what you can do.
PBJ just trying to keep within that 3 seconds of Moto Lee. If he can, he is going to have that podium position, but Moto Lee's building a pretty good gap on those grippier mediums. But again, those tires are going to be real old towards the end of the race, and PBJ is going to be able to make up some time.
Well, interesting team-on-team scrap down there, 5 and 6. The Alpha Tauri's running right together. Victor with the slightly newer tires. Well, I say that till Bronson.
And here comes Bronson and finds the gap there.
On an absolute tear with 9 laps to go. Can he make up some more positions?
Bronson Stafford. Timing sheet glitch here.
On lap 1, turn 1. Amazing recovery drive, but that's what he does.
Yeah, Bronson never really has the best starts, but he does have great finishes, so I guess that's what really counts, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Got a yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Not sure what it's for. Don't see any cars off track.
I think it's another desync issue. We've got some discussion over in the chat of people driving through each other. So, thank you, Codemasters. We appreciate all of your lack of effort. So, Bronson Stafford wants to get the move done on Victor here. He's got DRS on him coming around this corner. It's going to be the Bronson show. We just expect him to have the grip, have the speed, have the DRS.
Come on the straight, and Bronson
get that move done.
DRS on, ERS on. Doesn't have a lot of ERS to make this overtake. Might have to wait another lap.
Backs off, tucks in behind him. He'll wait. He's got time.
With 10 laps left to go, KTF Desmond picks up a 5-second penalty. So currently, we only have 6 drivers without penalties. And someone just went off. That's Victor Diaz. Yeah, that is Victor Diaz off the track.
Oh, so that's I wonder what happens there. Is he just defending from Bronson, or
I think he just overcooked it into the turn there. Those hard tires aren't very grippy, and you can definitely lose the rear end super easy. And they're screaming now. They're hot. Hopefully he knows to keep it calm, let those tires cool down a little bit. Looks like he's on it. So Victor Diaz out of the points now. He's going to have to make up a lot of time coming up to Marshall here.
So Bronson with 6 seconds to penalty, Jack with 3, Eric with 6. Could this potentially spell good news for Ethan if he keeps it clean?
Yeah, Bronson having a great drive, but those penalties are racking up. He's got to keep it clean if he wants a good finish, because everyone's going to be tight here in the top 5 or 6.
My timing screen finally starts to catch up. So that 6 seconds will, the way it sits right now is Jack will take that spot from Bronson. So Bronson will move down to P6 if we shake out like we have it right now.
Yeah, and PBJ's lost his 3-second gap from Moto Lee, so he's out of that penalty range for that podium.
And that would move Ethan up to P5 ahead of both of them. Penalties if he keeps his nose clean for the rest of the race. It'd be really good for him. He's not wanting to relegate, wants to stay in P1, and so big, strong, good showing like this is exactly what he needs.
Absolutely.
Kid, really young guy, works really hard, really dedicated to trying to be a good racer and be a good part of the community. He's just had a real rash of bad luck, and hopefully now it's all right.
He's definitely kept it real calm this race, able to make up a lot of positions just of other people's mistakes. So, Ethan Patel, currently in DRS range of Jack Pemberton, coming into the third sector here.
A little surprising we haven't seen more movement from Alfonso. Started on pole back in P13. Just not a great day for him.
Alfonso's been moving up and down the grid a little bit. He's gone from 1st to 20th to 10th, back down to 13th, so I'm not too sure what's going on. He's just having a rough race. This track doesn't agree with him. Setup's a little too loose. Not sure what the problem is there, but Duncan McCamick with almost an 8-second gap on Peter.
Just ridiculous from Duncan.
As he laps a Ferrari, not sure which one that is. That might be Josh Barnsley. That is Brian Hackeman.
Garrett Elder with another penalty. Oh, that's his first penalty. So 3 seconds there for him.
That puts us at 5 drivers left without penalties. And Garrett Elder was standing to make up a good couple of positions off of penalties, but now is going to have to race for it a little bit harder. 4 seconds behind Eric McCurney. Don't know if he has the time to catch up here with only 6 laps left to go.
Well, my Zoom Racing League bingo sheet is filling up quickly. We just need a DNF. But the way these guys are going, I mean, these guys work so hard to try to work together and stay on track. I mean, look at the horrible race some of the guys in the last 3 positions have had, but still kept it together, didn't DNF, didn't hit anyone else, didn't impede anyone badly. So just really good, disciplined racing from almost everyone tonight.
They've been having a rough time of it. Alfonso Luis, my fantasy pick, sort of let me down here a little bit, but you know, be what it be, hit them all.
Well, I'm just saying my fantasy pick is currently running P3 with a penalty, and even with the penalty, we'll maintain that P3. So if you folks are looking for fantasy advice,
I was on the fence between Alfonso and Duncan. Went the wrong direction apparently. Still a lot of race left to go. Nothing's finalized yet, as Alfonso Luis picks up another penalty. Rough race for him. It's killer for him. So Kubican's in his position where he's going to make up 5 places if he can finish without any penalties.
He could potentially wind up in the points at this point, which is crazy to think from P16.
Eric McCurney spun somewhere.
Oh, Eric is out.
Yeah, see if I can hop on board here.
Exit turn 8. Going uphill from turn 8, just before turn 9.
Hopping on with Joel Guron, see if we can see what happened.
Just went off to the right of the track, went wide. Just
got in the throttle too early there. That's what we were saying earlier. You're going to throttle too early on these hills, it'll swing your back end out and send you into the wall.
And I guess I jinxed that. So
that's our first DNF. Yeah. If anybody's playing at home, playing ZRL bingo, we've gotten just about everything here. And Brian Hackeman picking up another penalty.
That's so rough.
So yeah, Eric McCurney out of the race. He was doing pretty good though, so that's rough for him. Joe Guron, his teammate, out of the points currently. Does have a penalty, so not going to be able to get past Victor Diaz and make it stick probably with the amount of time we have left in the race. And Duncan McCamick over 8-second gap.
And just clean air in front of him as he comes out of the end of sector 2. There's no one impeding him, no one pressuring him. It's just finish the race at this point.
And if PBJ wants this podium, he has to make up 2 seconds, a little over that, on the old hard tires. Moto Lee's been slowing down a little bit now that those mediums are starting to cook a little bit.
We're getting the crossover point. Could get interesting.
Yeah, PBJ might be too far behind with 4 laps left to go. in the Portugal Grand Prix here.
Another one to watch right now, Ethan on those 6-lap old softs. Jack's 16 laps on his hard, so is there maybe a little deg happening there?
Yeah, Ethan in a great spot. So about lap 8 is where you're going to see those softs really start to drop off. And lap 12 is going to be about as far as you can push them. None of the soft runners are going to hit that, doesn't look like.
Someone off in turn 13. Looks like that was...
Is that a
WTF?
Williams? Let's see.
Yeah, it was Walter Desmond.
Yeah, Walter Desmond spun off. No wing damage, but he's already having a rough race. A minute behind Cole Cummings on the timing sheet. Not sure if that's true or not, but it looks true. Looking at the map here. So yeah, Walter just
got a Ferrari off.
Having a rough time.
Those Ferraris and turn 8 do not mix. Had several offs there. So
had a bad
setup
in the garage. Yeah, neither of them able to get anything going. Duncan McCamick is just cruising away with this win here.
We have 3 laps to go. He's so far ahead of Peter.
Looking at Tyler McCamick right now. Real close to him. Kubican's looking for the move here. Has DRS coming into the hairpin. Has the inside line too.
Oh,
so Kubican's gets the move done wheel to wheel coming into the next right-hander here. And looks like Kubican's is going to come out ahead here. So great overtake from him. Kept it real clean.
Ferrari off right when they come around this corner. So hopefully that doesn't impede them. They're back moving. So that's good.
Yeah, looks like the Ferrari's gotten back up to speed. So not going to ruin that race for them, but Kubican's making the overtake on the Ferrari. Not sure if he has damage or not, and KTF Desmond picks up another penalty.
Just the nerves on a track like this. When you're going uphill, you're downhill, you're blind into corners. All you can see is sky, and then you come around the corner, and there's someone parked there. Yeah. How do you react to that? And that's those split-second decisions that can make somebody's race.
So PBJ not looking like he's going to make up the time here. Still 5 seconds down. In a decent spot, but I don't think Moto Lee is going to pick up another penalty because he probably just knows better at this point than to try and make anything sick. Peter's not going to catch Duncan unless something happens there. So everything looks pretty stuck about where we're going to finish here. Jack Pemberton's got a free position on Bronson Stafford, and that's about it.
Poor Kubikins, he was doing so well, and now he picks up that penalty. Might drop a couple of spots he might have otherwise picked up.
Yeah. Was in a position to overtake Alfonso over just straight penalties, so that's rough for him.
Jack with DRS on Bronson now. Bronson loses the position to Jack on those 10-lap old softs. They're probably starting to scream on him a little bit. It's laps to go. So we've seen several good moves. It feels like the best spot to overtake is down there at turn 5 at the hairpin. We saw several good clean overtakes there.
Speaking of the hairpin, as the Aston Martin goes around Victor Diaz, or Jack Pemberton here, and takes the position back, Bronson Stafford.
Hey, there he goes. That's what he does.
Right there in that hairpin, able to get it back. And Bronson, Jack, and Ethan are all stacked up right against each other. Coming into the last lap here.
So if you're Moto Lee, are you starting to get a little nervous with 20 laps on those medium tires? He hasn't had to fight a whole lot, not a lot of defending, so probably still some good life in it.
Moto Lee's got 2 seconds to work with, so he's able to lift and coast on this last lap just a little bit. And probably be able to keep that gap from PBJ. Just has to stay on the track for one last lap here. As he's a second up on his best time, so he's definitely slowed down a little bit. Trying to play it safe here.
Jack is all over the back of Bronson, trying to close that gap with DRS as they race.
Jack got the inside line on the first turn here. Bronson Stafford with a better run at it, though, and looks like Jack's going to keep this position as Bronson goes around the outside. This is a great race from the both of them. And
Tyler
Ethan
goes around
Patel almost loses it, trying to avoid Bronson Stafford. Swung his rear end out there.
No damage for Tyler, but
into the hairpin, Bronson Stafford around the outside again, trying to make the exact same move work, and wheel-to-wheel racing into this fast right-hander as Bronson gets just ahead. and gets the move done there, but Jack Pemberton's not giving it up.
Taking him all the way, and he's trying to take him to the next corner as well. He's not going to give up his position lightly. He wants to take him all the way to the end. Jack closing up that gap, staying right on his bumper.
Yeah. Ethan Patel also looking for the move on Jack Pemberton at the same time, though.
So Duncan McCamick, our winner. He's across. Peter will come across next.
Great
Moto
race
Lee
from Duncan. Moto Lee. Yeah, Moto Lee holds on to his podium there, and PBJ's going to cross the line, followed by Bronson Stafford. I think Ethan Patel's going to come out the winner in that situation. Yeah, Ethan just stuck behind and gets ahead on penalties. So
Just
Ethan
a
Patel,
nice P5.
Yeah,
Well
Jack
done.
Pemberton finishes ahead of Bronson Stafford, followed by Garrett Elder, then Bronson, Marshall, and Joel Guron round out your points finishers here. As Marshall gets knocked out by Victor Diaz off of penalties. So take that back. Victor's going to be your P9 finisher here, getting a couple points out of the race. Rough race for him, for someone who's won the past 3 that he's been in.
Have that bad day, so hopefully that's it for him. Let's just press
KTF
on
Desmond
forward.
with another penalty. Rough for him. As the last of the lapped cars come around for their 32nd lap. Josh Barnsley and Cole Cummings are going to be your last finishers here.
So
No
congrats,
safety car
Cole.
for the first time in a while.
That's really nice. It's lets everybody race. It comes down to what you can do and not what kind of foolish things happen behind the safety car. Bronson Stafford, driver of the day, jumps up from P20 all the way up to what was it, P7.
Yeah, that was great from him. Duncan McCamick with the win. Up on the podium there, celebrating with Peter Giordano and Moto Lee, who was a dark horse for this one, comes away with the podium.
Look, I'm just saying, for fantasy advice, I'm the guy. I picked him up for fantasy, and he paid off. So I owe that man a drink.
It's great for him. But Duncan McCamick winning his second race of the season here. Great job from him. Bronson Stafford's going to get the fastest lap in P8, so he's going to get that extra point there.
That's
Let's,
happy times in the Aston Martin garage.
Let's drag Duncan up in here. Duncan, great race, man. Great race.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So how was it for you? How'd you feel about it? What went down?
Well, throughout the week, I was actually I was pretty nervous because this setup, I've been fast on it through qualifying and in the short run, but on the long run, I've been really loose. So I was actually really nervous, but I made a couple of last second adjustments right before the race, and I normally don't do that, but I just did it and it happened to work, and I don't know, I'm just super excited.
Seemed like it worked out really well for you, yeah.
Can you walk us through the mindset when you've got somebody like a Peter right behind you, 2/10 behind you, lap after lap after lap? How does the focus? How do you do it? Is it hard? Do you hold your breath through some of the turns? I gotta get it right there.
Definitely. I mean, the whole time, honestly, when he's pushing me and pressuring me, it was hard. Actually, I guess I won't say the whole time. The first 5 laps, I was really trying to break him to get the DRS train out of the way. And once I realized I couldn't break him, I looked back at how I've done in the past throughout the week. I'm like, you know what? I know if I get caught pushing, all it takes is one overstep and then I'm done. So I just went for the long term, and I think he made the mistake of choosing hard tires. So I think that's honestly what blessed me with the win. But sometimes it comes down to strategy, and I think this is the first race of the year that we didn't have any safety cars or anything, so it actually came down to pure strategy. And shout out to the Red Bull pit crew and pit strategy guys. They really came through for us this week.
Really great drive. Amazing job.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, great job, man. That was awesome.
Also, I think you have my engineer in the waiting room.
What we got? We got an engineer going. All right,
Yeah,
we got
the engineer right here.
the Red Bull engineer with the strategy that came
Talk
out.
to us. What was your role in helping Duncan get there to the finish?
Yeah, so my dad Jeff Gordon always told me just be a good teammate, especially if you're an engineer for your teammate. And he's right, dude, because we're the fucking best. And obviously Duncan won because we're the best, but he also won because I'm the fucking best.
I've yet to hear a lie. Thank you for that colorful insight.
That was killer.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right.
Yep.
All right, great race from the Red Bull crew. Let's get Peter in here.
All excitement there.
All right, Peter, P2. How was it?
Disappointing, I think.
Yeah, you and Duncan were neck and neck for the whole first half of the race there.
Yeah.
Do you regret going on the hard tires or?
Oh, 100%. I just got, I don't know, it wasn't a good night for me. During Q3, I forgot to turn on ERS for my first lap. Second lap, I spawned and crashed. So third lap, I didn't want to push super hard. So I at least wanted to get a lap in.
Still
and then
great getting those overtakes done and making up those positions from qualifying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I just kind of wish I went on the mediums.
Other than a mistake there, and then the choice of hard tires that at the time we thought might have been questionable, and turned out it was. Was there anything different you could have done? I mean, Duncan obviously ran a great race, defended his butt off, but it seemed like you were right there with him through most of the race.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to overcut him because I knew the overcut was going to be good, and I had plenty of pace in his dirty air. And then I was thinking about putting on the mediums, but I thought, well, strategy said hard, so I'll just play it safe, and it was the wrong choice.
Those
Well,
are
it's
really
a
decent
P2.
points for your team. Yeah.
You sound disappointed, but everybody in the Aston Martin garage is going to be real happy. Bronson was a P8. You got the point for fastest lap. So as far as the constructor goes, that's really good. I know you both expect to be up in the top 3 every time, but I know a lot of people are happy to see you up there at number 2.
Yeah, thank you. Good day for constructors, for sure.
All right, man. Great race from you. Have a great night. Appreciate you stopping in. All right, let's get Moto in here. Moto.
My man.
All right, filling in. How'd it go?
How's it going, guys?
That was a great race for you,
What
man.
a race.
Just held on, even with the penalty there for that P3 finish. So, tell me, what went through your mind while you were going? Like, what were you thinking while you were driving? What went down? We still got you there, man?
Moto, you good?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you guys.
Oh, sorry.
I guess I'm having a little bit of mic problems. I'm not hearing you guys.
What went through your mind while you were during the race? Looks like we're having some technical difficulties with Moto here.
First week in Division 1. Are you able to hear me?
I think. Can you guys get? I think I got you now. It's going in and out.
Okay, well, we'll make it quick. So great job tonight. I picked you in my fantasy league. You paid off. I appreciate you getting the podium. What was it like your first D1 race?
So last week was my first D1 one in Italy, but kind of just had to throw it out. I was upset with some of the track limit calls, so I tried to keep it clean this race. Went for the aggressive one-stop softs to mediums. Went for the undercut and just kept it smooth and did like 23 laps on the mediums, and it ended up working out. I was kind of gaining the leaders late, but just backed off because we'll just take the P3.
Yeah, it was still a great race from you, man. That was killer. When a bit of a dark horse, no one really expected it out of you, so that was killer. All right, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Great job. Congrats on the podium.
Guys.
All right, and that's going to be it for tonight for the Portugal Grand Prix for the D1 division of the Zoom Racing League. This has been Hunter and Revis casting today. Hopefully we can get Revis back in for another one sometime. Hopefully he enjoyed it.